My wife's sister pranked me by stranding me in the woods. My wife laughed. "Don't be a baby." I replied, "Okay." Then I reported the car as stolen. They stopped laughing when the police pulled them over on the highway. I, 32 male, need to get this off my chest because the last few days have been absolutely insane. My wife, 29, and her sister, 26, are prank people. Not like harmless whoopee cushion stuff. I'm talking cruel, elaborate pranks that always end with me looking stupid and them cackling like hyenas. They've pranked me by convincing me my car was towed and filming me panic call the tow company for over an hour. They've had her sister's boyfriend call me pretending to be my boss saying I was fired, then watched me spiral into a full anxiety attack before yelling, "Gotcha!" They think this stuff is peak comedy. I've told my wife straight up that this isn't funny, that pranks are supposed to be lighthearted, not psychological torture. Her response is always the same: "You're too sensitive. Learn to take a joke." Her sister always chimes in with, "God, you're no fun." Last weekend we went to a state park, 2 hours from home, super remote, lots of hiking trails. My wife wanted to reconnect with nature. Her sister tagged along because apparently she's contractually required to join everything we do. We parked at this trailhead, middle of nowhere. Maybe 2 other cars in the lot. Hiked for a while, stopped at a clearing for snacks, normal stuff. I went to pee behind some trees, came back, and they were gone. Figured they'd walked ahead, called out, nothing. Walked down the trail, no sign of them. Walked back, still nothing. Then I got the text. "Surprise, we took the car. Good luck getting back, LOL. Don't be such a baby about it." Followed by a selfie of them in my car, both of them laughing, throwing up peace signs, like they'd just pulled off the heist of the century. I stood there looking at my phone. We were in the middle of nowhere. Cell service was garbage. That text came through pure luck. My wallet was in the car, my keys, everything. Sun was starting to set, and my wife thought this was hilarious. You know that moment when something just clicks? Like a switch flips and suddenly you see everything crystal clear? Yeah, that happened. I had 1 bar of service, made a call. "Hi, I need to report a stolen vehicle." The dispatcher took my info, plate number, location, description. I was calm, totally calm. My wife and her sister took my car without permission and abandoned me in a remote area. The car's registered solely in my name. I do not give them permission to use it. Dispatcher asked if I was safe, needed medical attention. I said no, but I needed a ride. They said they'd send someone. Park ranger showed up eventually. Nice older guy who looked genuinely concerned. "You're the one who reported the stolen car?" "Yeah, my wife and her sister took it and stranded me here as a prank. Car's in my name only." "They left you here intentionally?" "Yup, here's the text." Showed him. His face went from concerned to pissed. "That's not a prank. That's abandonment. You could have gotten lost, injured, hypothermia sets in fast out here after sunset." Exactly what I was thinking. Description's already out to highway patrol. If they're on the main roads, they'll be stopped. Perfect. He drove me to the ranger station, let me charge my phone. When it powered up, it exploded with notifications. Dozens of missed calls from my wife. An avalanche of texts. What the hell? Police pulled us over. They said you reported the car stolen? Are you insane? They made us get out and searched everything like we're criminals. My sister is crying. Call them off right now. Her sister texted, "This is legit psycho behavior. Over a joke? Seriously?" Didn't respond to any of it. Eventually called my wife back. She answered immediately, shrieking, "What is wrong with you? You called the cops? You stole my car. It's not stolen. We were pranking you. You took my vehicle without permission and left me stranded in the woods. That's theft." "Oh my God, it was a joke. We were coming back." "When?" Silence. "When were you coming back? An hour? 2 hours? Tomorrow morning?" "Ever?" "You're being ridiculous." "Am I? You abandoned your husband in the middle of nowhere and thought it was funny. Seems like a pretty reasonable response to me. The cops kept us there forever. Do you know how humiliating that was? More humiliating than being ditched in the woods while your wife laughs about it? You're overreacting. Don't come home tonight, stay with your sister. You can't kick me out." Just did. Hung up. Ranger drove me home. By the time I got there, it was late. Changed the locks immediately. "Yeah, I can do that. House is mine, bought it before we got married, title's only in my name. She moved in after the wedding but never got added to the deed. She showed up later that night, pounding on the door. "Open up, this is my house." Spoke through the doorbell camera. "Nope, stay at your sister's. We'll talk when you're ready to be an actual adult." Over a prank? Over you thinking abandoning me was entertainment. Huge difference. "I'm calling the police." "Go for it. Tell them you're locked out of a house you don't own after stealing your husband's car and stranding him. Let me know how that goes." She left. Been a few days now. My phone's been blowing up with her family, her friends, everyone saying I'm insane for overreacting to a harmless prank. Harmless. Sure. Called a divorce lawyer. Already have a consultation scheduled. Update 1. The circus has officially come to town. My wife's family descended on me like I'd committed a war crime. Her mom called first, full waterworks mode. "You're tearing this family apart over a harmless joke." Harmless? They left me stranded in the woods. But they were coming back for you. You knew that. Did I? They didn't answer my calls, didn't respond to texts. I had no idea if they were coming back in an hour or never. You're being so dramatic. My daughters were just having fun. Your daughters committed Grand Theft Auto. That's a felony. You're trying to get them arrested? I'm not trying to get anyone arrested. I reported my stolen car. What happened after that was their own fault. This is insane. You're married. Married people share. Not when one of them takes the car to strand the other one in the wilderness. She went from crying to screaming. Told me I was destroying the family, that I was cruel and heartless. Hung up on me mid-rant. Then her dad called. Way more aggressive. I don't know what kind of man calls the cops on his own wife. The kind whose wife steals his car and abandons him. It was a prank. Pranks don't involve felonies and police stops. My daughter has been sobbing for days. You're destroying her. Maybe she should have thought about that before laughing at me being stranded. You're being vindictive and you know it. I'm setting boundaries. There's a difference. She's your wife. Yeah, and she treated me like garbage. So now she gets to experience consequences. He told me I'd regret throwing away my marriage over nothing. Hung up. But things got way worse. My wife's sister went nuclear on social media. Made this huge post about how I'm an abusive narcissist who weaponized the police against two innocent women who were just having fun. Mutual friends screenshot it and sent it to me. The post painted me as this controlling psycho who can't take a joke and immediately jumps to calling the cops. Comments were split down the middle. Some people were like, "Wait, they abandoned him in the woods and took his car? That's messed up." Others were fully buying the victim act. Someone commented, "That's not a prank. That's dangerous. He could have been seriously hurt." Her sister replied, "He was fine. He's playing victim because he's controlling and can't handle not getting his way." My wife joined in with her own post. Big long thing about how I'm holding her hostage by locking her out of her home and how she's basically homeless because of my overreaction to a silly prank. Multiple people pointed out that if I own the house and she stole my car, I'm within my rights. She deleted those comments. Then I got a call from the police. Local department, not the Rangers. "Sir, we have a report that you're withholding your wife's property from your residence. Her belongings are here. She can collect them anytime. She just can't come inside. She's claiming you won't let her get her stuff. She can have it all. I've been clear about that, but she's not entering my house." "Can you explain what happened?" I gave him the full story. The prank, the car theft, the police stop, everything. "And the house is yours?" "Bought before marriage, only my name on the deed." "All right, you're legally allowed to control access to your property, but I'd recommend letting her get her belongings soon to avoid more complaints." Already planning on it. Texted my wife, "Saturday, come get your stuff. I'll have it boxed in the garage. 2 hours. Your sister can help, but neither of you comes in the house." Her response was immediate. "You're actually kicking me out? For real? You left me in the woods." "Yeah, for real. We can work this out. Don't throw away everything we have." "Work what out? You haven't apologized once. You keep calling it a joke like I'm the problem for not finding it funny." "Fine, you want an apology? I'm sorry. Happy now?" That's not how apologies work. You're sorry you're facing consequences, not sorry for what you did. "Oh my God, you're impossible. Get your stuff Saturday. Bring your sister. Don't be late." I'm getting a lawyer. Already have one. Radio silence after that. Saturday came. I'd spent the week packing her stuff, all her clothes, toiletries, personal items. I was fair, only took what was clearly hers, left anything joint or ambiguous in the house. She showed up with her sister and 2 friends. Rented a U-Haul. I watched the whole thing through my security cameras. The commentary from her sister was choice. Can you believe him? All this over a stupid prank. One friend, he does seem really controlling. Sister, oh, he is. She's been walking on eggshells for years. News to me. My wife had never mentioned that. But I guess rewriting history is easier than admitting you screwed up. They took their time loading the van. Over an hour. Every box was an opportunity for them to trash talk me loud enough for the camera to pick up. Finally, my wife rang the doorbell. Can we talk, please? Spoke through the speaker. About what? I'm sorry, okay, the prank went too far. Can we please fix this? Why was it wrong? What? Why was the prank wrong? Tell me. Pause. Because you got upset. No. Try again. Because it was stupid. Not good enough. Why was it wrong? Another pause. Because I shouldn't have left you there. Getting warmer. Why shouldn't you have left me there? I don't know what you want me to say. I want you to understand that you endangered your spouse, stole their property, and violated basic human decency. And you only care now because you're facing the consequences. That's not fair. I do care about you. You didn't care when you were laughing at me being stranded. You didn't care when you called me a baby. You care now because your comfortable life is disappearing. So you're just giving up? Just like that? You gave up the second you thought my suffering was comedy material. Her sister yelled from the van, "Stop wasting your time, he's a lost cause." My wife stood there for another minute, then walked away. Watched them drive off, haven't heard from her directly since. Just her lawyer. Update 2: divorce proceedings started. My lawyer's this sharp woman who's seen it all, doesn't take any garbage. Initial demands from my wife's lawyer were ambitious. She wanted $2,500 per month, spousal support for 3 years, half the equity in my house that I bought before we met, my car temporarily until she can afford one, LOL, no, all the furniture, most of which I owned before marriage. My lawyer actually laughed reading the list. Does her attorney understand what separate property means? Apparently not. The house is ironclad, your name only, purchased before marriage. Same with the car, she's got no claim. That's what I figured. Spousal support is possible though. What's her income? Part-time boutique job, maybe $1,400 a month. And yours? IT work, around $7,200 monthly. We'll probably end up with some temporary support, maybe $700 to $900 for a year or so, but nothing like what she's asking. Then the dirty tricks started. My wife's sister decided to go after my job. Called my office, asked for HR, filed a complaint that I was creating a hostile work environment by discussing personal legal matters at work, which I never did. I kept everything completely separate. My boss called me in, looking uncomfortable. Got a weird complaint from someone claiming to be your sister-in-law. Let me guess, hostile work environment? Yeah. You been talking about personal stuff here? Haven't mentioned it once. That's what I thought. Look, HR has to investigate, but this sounds like someone trying to mess with you during a divorce. We see it sometimes. That's exactly what it is. Keep your head down, don't engage. If she calls again, we'll handle it. HR did their investigation, talked to my coworkers. Everyone confirmed I'd never mentioned anything personal. Complaint dismissed. Strike one for the sister. But she wasn't done. She somehow got my property management company's number. I used them for maintenance even though the house is paid off, and called claiming to be my wife, saying I was destroying property and violating housing codes. The manager called me, confused. We got a strange call from someone claiming to be your wife? Ex-wife. We're divorcing. She doesn't live here, and she's trying to cause problems. She mentioned violations? There aren't any. She's harassing me. Want to send an inspector? No need. You've been with us for years, never had issues. I'll note this as harassment and block the number. Strike two. Then my wife tried something particularly nasty. Filed a police report claiming I'd stolen her grandmother's ring, a diamond necklace, and $3,000 in cash that was hidden in the house. Police called me in. I brought my lawyer. Your wife reported missing property. Let me guess. Grandmother's ring, necklace, cash? Officer looked at his notes. That's correct. The ring's in the jewelry box I packed for her. I have time-stamped photos of everything. The necklace doesn't exist. I've never seen her wear one. The cash is fiction. We had a joint account with $4,200 in it when we separated, being handled by lawyers. My lawyer jumped in. Officer, this is obvious harassment during a divorce. My client documented everything he returned. If she claims items are missing, she needs to prove she had them. Do you have these photos? Pulled them up on my phone. Every box photographed before and after packing. Time-stamped. Clear shots of all her jewelry, including rings. This is very thorough. Wanted to avoid exactly this situation. I'll note this in the report. Without proof of ownership, nothing's going to come of it. My lawyer sent a letter to her attorney about the false report. Mentioned we'd consider it ongoing harassment. But the absolute best part came last week. My wife and her sister showed up at the house, unannounced, with a locksmith. I was home, watched the whole thing on my security camera. Sister, to the locksmith, this is her house. She just needs to get in. Locksmith, you got ID with this address? Wife, I don't have updated ID yet. But look, I have old mail. Pulled up screenshots on her phone. Locksmith looked uncomfortable. Ma'am, I need current proof, and if there's any ownership dispute, I can't get involved. I spoke through the ring speaker. That's smart, considering I own this house and she doesn't live here. They all jumped. Locksmith looked relieved. Sir, is this your property? Yup, solely mine. She's my ex-wife and she's not allowed here. Locksmith to my wife, I can't help you. This is a legal issue. Packed up and left. Sister, he's lying. She lives here. Locksmith was already gone. Called the police. Non-emergency. My ex-wife and her sister just tried to break into my house using a locksmith. They're on my property without permission. I have video. Officer showed up pretty quick. They'd already left, but I gave him the footage. This is clearly trespassing. Want to press charges? I want it documented. If it happens again, then yes. I'll file this. You might consider a restraining order if the behavior continues. Sent the report to my lawyer. She immediately filed for a protective order. Listed all the harassment, the false theft report, the attempted break-in, the workplace complaints, everything. My wife's lawyer responded with this pissy letter about how I was escalating unnecessarily and weaponizing the legal system. My lawyer's response was perfect. Your client has filed false police reports, attempted illegal entry, and engaged in workplace harassment. Our client is responding appropriately. If this behavior stops, there won't be further escalation. Hearings coming up soon for the protective order. Meanwhile, word through the grapevine is that my wife's living with her sister, and it's not going well. Apparently she's not contributing to rent or groceries, and her sister's getting fed up. Turns out entitlement doesn't pay bills. Update 3. The protective order hearing was last week. Time to wrap this story up. My wife showed up with her sister and her lawyer. Her lawyer tried the whole, he's being vindictive and abusing the system angle. My lawyer brought evidence, all of it. Police report from the car theft, the false theft claim report, the trespassing report with video, screenshots of her sister's calls to my workplace. Everything documented, dated, backed up. The judge looked like he'd seen this exact thing 1,000 times before. Ma'am, you and your sister abandoned your husband in a remote location and took his vehicle? It was a prank, Your Honor. A prank that resulted in a police stop and a theft investigation. He overreacted. He reported his stolen vehicle. That's proper procedure, not overreacting. What was your plan? When were you going back? We were going to go back. When? Silence. So your husband was supposed to wait in the woods indefinitely and just hope he returned? It wasn't dangerous. That's luck, not planning. What if he'd gotten lost, injured? Temperature drops fast in those areas at night. People die from exposure. Her lawyer tried to redirect. Your Honor, we're here about the restraining order, not past events. The past events establish pattern of behavior, which brings us to the false police reports, attempted illegal entry, workplace harassment. Ma'am, why file a report claiming stolen property when you had no proof it existed? My wife stumbled. I thought he took it. Thought or wanted to cause problems? No answer. I see a clear pattern of someone upset about consequences and lashing out. Restraining order granted. No contact except through attorneys. No contact with his workplace or property. Any violations result in contempt charges. Understood? This is ridiculous. Is that understood? Yes. Next case. Walking out, her sister made sure I could hear. All this over a stupid joke. He's destroyed her life. My lawyer glanced at me. Want to add that to the file? Nah, let's just get out of here. Divorce mediation happened a few days later. Her lawyer came in swinging, still demanding the spousal support, half the house, the car. My lawyer calmly explained reality. House, separate property, mine before marriage, never commingled. Car, obviously mine, and she literally stole it. Spousal support, short-term maybe, but nothing crazy. Her lawyer tried the she sacrificed career opportunities angle. My lawyer, she worked part-time before marriage and part-time during. What opportunities did she sacrifice? Her lawyer, she supported his household. By working part-time, how exactly? Back and forth for a while. Mediator eventually suggested, I keep the house, I keep my car, I keep my retirement, split the joint savings, $4,200 total. She gets $2,100, I pay $750 per month spousal support for 18 months. Each pays own legal fees. Her lawyer pushed for more. My lawyer pointed out that if we went to trial, she'd likely get even less given the theft, false reports, harassment pattern. Her lawyer went to consult. Came back, she accepted. Final divorce hearing was quick. Judge reviewed everything, asked if we understood and agreed. We both said yes. Judge signed. Done. Walking out of the courthouse, my ex made one last attempt. Was it worth it? Ending everything? I didn't end anything. You did that when you left me in the woods. I apologized. You apologized for getting caught, not for what you did. I can't believe you actually went through with it. I can't believe you thought I wouldn't. Her sister was waiting outside. He'll regret this. Guys like him always do. The whole thing cost me about $36,000 when you add it up. Legal fees, the support payments I'll make, her share of the joint money. Worth every penny to be done with someone who thinks my suffering is hilarious. Got the house back to myself, changed locks again, paranoid now, upgraded the security system, adopted a dog from the shelter, always wanted one but she claimed to be allergic. Big German Shepherd mix, named him after my favorite movie character. He's perfect. Word, through mutual friends, is that my ex is still living with her sister, and it's not going great. They're both broke, both complaining about how unfair the settlement was, how I'm vindictive. Same friends mentioned her sister's trying to kick her out because she's not helping with bills. Funny how that entitlement works. People ask if I regret how hard I came down. The car report, the divorce, the restraining order, all of it. Not even a little. This was never about revenge. It was about respect, about boundaries, about refusing to be treated like a joke. My ex thought she could do whatever she wanted, and I'd just take it. That I'd swallow my feelings because that's what I'd always done with her pranks. Reporting the car wasn't revenge. It was truth. She stole my car. The divorce wasn't punishment, it was self-preservation. The restraining order wasn't vindictive. It was necessary. She got to learn that actions have consequences, that you can't abandon someone in the woods and expect them to laugh about it, that marriage doesn't mean unlimited tolerance for cruelty disguised as humor. Maybe she'll think twice before pulling something like this again. Probably not. Entitled people rarely change, but that's not my problem anymore. I'm good. Really good. House feels like mine again. Work's solid. The dog's amazing. Started seeing someone new. Met her at a coffee shop. Both reached for the last blueberry muffin at the same time. We laughed, split it, ended up talking for 2 hours. She thinks the woods story is insane. Actually brings me coffee sometimes with "Still Not Stranded" written on the cup. Her sense of humor is great, actual funny stuff, not cruel pranks. Taking it slow, being cautious. But she's good people. Life's too short to spend with people who think your pain is entertainment. My ex showed me who she was that day in the woods. She showed me she didn't respect me, didn't value my safety, thought my distress was comedy. I believed her, and I acted on it. Zero regrets. To anyone reading this, going through something similar, set your boundaries, enforce them. And when someone shows you they don't respect you, believe them the first time. Don't wait for the second prank, or the third, or the 20th. You deserve better than being someone's punchline. I learned that the hard way. But hey, At least I got a great dog out of it.